welcome back to my channel, Real Living. I am Mercy Gospel.
This could be good for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose.
So, I want to ask you a question. Have you at any time think of a baby as less human? When a baby is given birth to, have you at any point feel this child is not complete or full grown human being yet? Okay, let me go to the next question. I think it would make more sense. Do you think a baby has a lesser intelligence than a matured human being or a grown-up? I want you to think about it. The first question you might you might be very certain that you are aware that is a full human being, not anything less than a human being. But have you thought of this part where you feel a child is less intelligent than a full-grown human or a grown-up, or let's say teenager? I put it to you that most of us do that. But first, I would like to go through a procession. There's a pattern I want to follow intentionally. Okay, now, so I'm starting from when you are aware that you have a child in you, when you and your husband, or you are aware that you have a child in you. What do you do? What comes out of your mouth? At that stage, everything that happens in between, in that womb, everything that happens from the outside to the child has to do basically with words. Your words at that point is very important. In fact, it is paramount. It is very important. As at that point where the child is in the womb, you must be conscious or cautious of every word that you say to the baby. Because words are alive. They don't die. So every word that you say counts. Sometimes the words go to the future and wait for the appropriate time it is being spoken of to come to pass. So when you are with child, what do you say? What are the words that come out? Are you those that can you imagine this child just you will be troublesome like your father? Or he will be a fighter. This girl will fight her, beat everybody, and when your child grows up fighting everybody, you are crying. You're crying that they're taking this child to the police station, or one thing, or coming back with bruises. That's your fault anyway. I can give you an example of two plants. So now you have two plants, the same plant, the same soil, the same pot you have the soil in, the same everyday process, putting the water, the same thing that you're doing to this plant, the same thing you do to this word. But the difference would be words. Now, to this plant, you say good words, positive, you bless it. Then this other one, you curse it. Say negative things to it, bad things. The thing is that both of them will grow, but one will grow more, could even grow faster than the other one. Come out at the time it ought to grow, and this one is slow to grow. And at the end of the day, this one grows, blossoming, having the flower and everything, and this one is growing but dying. It's growing death. It's growing to diminish. That's what happens when you give birth to your child. What you said while they're in the womb will start displaying with time. You have to say positive things to your children. Then when you put to bed, from that very day, you have to be positive in everything you do and say. Your words must be the same as what you do. You don't say something and you do another thing. Now, when the child clocks one, somebody will say the child is just too small. From between 1 to 3, this is the age where they are mastering, they are getting to practice the things that they see. The way you sit down, they practice. The way you show them how to walk. This is where they are practicing wanting to jump, because why? They've seen you jump at some point, so they want to jump. This is where they are trying to display what they see. So you can say a child of 1, what will you know to display? Mind you, between month 4 to month 12, they've been watching. They've been practically watching you. So imagine if you went for a course for 9 months. Imagine what will happen to you, the way you'll be reasoning, pertaining the course. 9 months is enough time for you to have learned a whole lot. So imagine a child that has a child. Let me not say a child that has intelligence, because all children have intelligence. So imagine a child, what they've learned in the space of 9 months. They start displaying from 1. Before 1, a lot of kids have started displaying. So why is 1 too small? It's not too small. It's not too small. So at this age, you have your children displaying some habits. Because one of the things that you need to know is that children manipulate. They test. I have watched it over and over again, I say. Especially depending on how you train them or what you've done to their siblings. Do you understand? So they test you, they manipulate you. So if you respond in that order, they take it as your life. If you respond differently, harshly, they take it that you don't like them. If you respond too good or positively towards what they are doing that the others are doing that you respond bad to, they take it that they are too special, they are special. And that the negative side and the positive side could be dangerous. Could be. So you have to have a standard for all your children. But display those standards based on their personalities, because to start displaying, you will know how they take information. You will know as a parent, you will know. These are the points where you study your children, because while they are displaying both positive or negative that you've impacted in them, their real identity surfaces in all of those things. So you'll be able to identify, you'll be able to see. So for example, so in this place, this is there are signals that if you overlook them, for example, you are calling your child, you call the first time, the second time the child is not answering, and probably you overlook it. You overlook it at a point when you are complaining to someone else about the overlooking. The child has no idea. At this point, the child doesn't understand what you mean by complaining to another person. They don't understand it. What they understand is what you allow to them. So if you do not allow it, you address it immediately. Anything a child is doing that you do not like, that you feel, if this child continues, if this child goes in this way, it will turn out to be. Don't overlook and say, don't worry, it's just a child. You will grow up to understand. That is the wrongest thing you would do to yourself and to the child. For the sake of integrity, please don't overlook what your children do. If you see anything negativity in it, you don't overlook and say it's just a child. This is where you train them. This is where you have a grasp of them. This is where you have a hold of them. So you have to do what you have to do now. Do you understand me? So when your child portrays an attitude, a habit that signals wrong character, immediately you address it in love. You address it in love. You might even whip the child, but in love. And when you tell the child, if you do this, I am going to do this to you. If the child does it for the sake of integrity, you do exactly what you said. You don't do less or you do more. It confuses them. The children of these days. Now, if you're going to do more, you explain. I am going to flog you more, or I'm going to increase your punishment, because after what you did, I did not sense that you are remorseful about it. And you're making me feel as if I am doing the wrong thing. But I am your mother and I love you. So I'm going to add more punishment. I'm going to whip you more of the strokes. Now, if you are going to reduce it, you are going to reduce whatsoever, you explain. I am reducing it. You know why? It's because you turn out to do this and that and this and that. So this is why I'm reducing the strokes or punishment. Do you understand me? So I need you to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is how the children of these days would grow up to be responsible for what they do. Now, the next stage from 4 to 5. This is where they are mastering everything that you overlooked, you reacted to. They are mastering it. And then, if you had allowed some things, here you can still work on them. You can still work on them. They are mastering things here. So if you don't address some things here, they are now solidifying it. And they move from 5 to 7. For 5 to 7, it is another level, but you still have grip on them to adjust one or two things that are not right. You still have grip. Do you understand? At this age, if they want to have an affirmation, a response, a confirmation of what they do from you as parents, either single or, do you understand? The environment they find themselves, people that care for them, they want to have affirmation for what they do. This is where they have it. So at this point, the wrong habits or character displayed, if you overlook it, they take it as the life. They take it as the life. And that's it. So at this point, they can now start programming their life. At this age, you can now follow them up on the kind of way they should live. This here is at this point. Do you understand? You start making them responsible for their action. You've already started it, but here it is more solid. You've made the decision. So this is the result of what you did, and you are going to. So you just have to face it. So you are letting them know that this is how life is. This is how life is. Of course, there are times that you overlook a lot of things. There are things you overlook. Do you understand? There are things you overlook. But this is where a lot of parents take it, do it wrongly. Because I have been watching the youth, the children of our day growing into youths and becoming people that you cannot control. You just cannot control them. You can't tell them to sit down and you sit down. Because why? As a parent, you've seen, you based on a lot of reasons, you've seen ahead. I say sit down. You cannot talk with them with your eye. You cannot just look at the child and direct them. Or you cannot make a sign and they understand. Back in the day, it is through signs that children that are disciplined escape death. These things are very vital. If you do not do the right thing for the children, train up a child the way he should grow, that when he is grown, he will not depart out of it. This is the stage where you do that. These are the stage. So you don't overlook things at this stage. You don't. A lot of people miss it. They're just a child. You don't do that here. Just to let you understand that children are very intelligent. So treat them as such. Thank you. Subscribe, comment if you can. I'm Mercy Costo, and this is really